Hi, I'm Acevedo, and I'm an aspiring artist here at Washingtonville High School.
So Isabella, tell us a little bit about professionally, what is your goal?
Well, I do have some time to decide, but a dream job for me would to become a National Geographic photographer. I've always loved the idea of photography. I've never taken a class, but I plan to. And I follow all National Geographic on Instagram and stuff. I've always loved the idea of it. There's this drawing in my grandparents' house done by my aunt, and I've always seen it like when I go there every weekend, and it really inspires me. She's such a talented artist, and I've always loved her artwork, and it really inspires me to do my best.
What's the best piece of advice you've been given?
When I draw, sometimes I have trouble with like proportions and stuff like that. So I was told to turn my paper upside down, so I'm not looking at the image, but more the individual shapes, and that really helps me.
What type of art do you mostly identify yourself with?
I usually stick to pencil drawings, colored pencil, but I do enjoy painting, and I always like to try new things.
If you had one dream project, what would it be?
One dream project would be a mural in my room of like the mountains. I've always loved nature, so I would love to have a piece of artwork like that in my room, and it would be really special.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Rivera, and I'm an aspiring artist at Washingtonville High School.
Tell me a little bit about who you are as a person besides being an artist.
Besides an artist, I like to do mask and mime because I like to sing and dance. Even though I'm not the greatest at it, I still like to dance.
What type of art do you mostly identify yourself with?
I mostly identify myself with realism. I like when things look like they're about to pop out of a page or look 3D, and if you draw a face, you really get the emotion out of it.
What's your favorite type of artwork?
My favorite type of artwork, I love realism, surrealism, and idealism. I think that those have the best way of portraying what is being put on paper.
What's your favorite artwork?
My favorite artwork by myself, my favorite artwork by myself, I would say when I do faces and people, because that's my best way of getting my point across is when I do faces and people, and it all goes together very nicely at the end.
Describe a real life situation that inspired you.
I remember when I was in 4th grade, we were in school, and I've always loved to doodle and draw and sketch in the corner, but then one day we were all presented with a Van Gogh book, and I remember looking at the paintings and seeing a whole new spectrum of color and a different way of art, and it just inspired me so much, and I've always looked up to that since.
Why art?
Why art? Well, I've always loved art. I've always used it as a way, when I didn't know how to talk to people, I'd always be in the corner, I'd be doodling, I'd be sketching, I'd be trying to find my own way by doing art, and I wouldn't really know how to talk to people, so that's why I would always be in the corner, and it just made me feel like at a safe place, even though I never talked to many people, not to be sad. Okay, this is one of my latest art pieces that I had to do. It was a self-portrait project, and we had to portray ourselves how either we see ourselves or how we think that other people see ourselves. So what I did for this one, I put like a whole cold feel on it. I put a cold heart that was breaking, because sometimes I feel like I'm cold-hearted, but I swear I'm not. And that would kind of counteract with like my warm face. Like I feel warm sometimes, but my heart counteracts with that, and then I'm breathing cold air, and the background is blue to signify the cold feeling. And
Can you tell us a little bit about the techniques you used in your artwork?
The techniques I used, instead of using like rough brush strokes, I made soft. I used several different colors in order to make just one slight ruffle in the shirt, and I made sure to use a different type of colors, even though it may not look as though it is. I used lots of colors in here.
What do you like about your artwork?
What do I like about my artwork? I like how it's very close to being realistic. Like I said, I love realism. It's one of my favorite types of art, one of my favorite things to do about art. I love when I can manage to step outside my box most of the time and create different things, either on canvas or on paper with a pencil or paint, and it's really a lot.
What's your best piece of advice you've been given?
The best piece of advice that I've been given was by Mr. Afelt downstairs in room 107. He told me to never second guess myself, always stay confident. If you think something should be down on the piece of paper that you're drawing on, put it down there, and don't give up on yourself too easily, because it happens.
Professionally, what's your goal?
My goal, I hope to go to college or array of colleges for 5 years at least, get a master's or a minor in art teacher education. I'd like to travel, go to different places where I can learn more about art history, and I hope that one day I can get a full-time job as maybe like an art teacher or later on a professor at college or something like that.
What's your dream project if you had one?
My dream project, I would get a wall, maybe like a whole wall in the city or building, and I would paint the whole thing with all types of different art of my own style. Realism, surrealism, cartoons, everything, and I would make sure that it looks fantastic. I'm Rebecca Rivera, and thanks for listening to the things that make me inspiring.